You made it lock in. Court lights flicker, I'm feeling that tip-off fever. NBA dreams spin tight like a crossover sleeper. Fourth and inches in the cold, crowd breathing like smoke. NFL grit in my voice when the pressure get woke. Engine scream through the night, that F1 razor. Lines cut clean, turn sharp like a hometown savior. NASCAR drift in my blood when the pace gets wild. I talk speed like a veteran, move calm like a smile. Legends born out of sweat, out of heartbreaks echo. I break plays down smooth, call the game like a maestro. Every lane that we touch, every story we show, this is where the truth runs. The NotBland Show. Fast, race, whole crowd froze. Big drives, deep shots, watch the moment explode. Every angle hit heavy with a champion's glow. Step into the kingdom, the NotBland Show.
Lock in.
Yeah, we back, baby. It's Tuesday night, and we're going to have some fun tonight, brother. It is a blessing to be with you guys. Welcome to the NotBland Show. Glad you guys are getting locked in right now, and we're going to have a good time. We got Spencer Hyde on the show, headed into Brainerd after having a really nice showing at the Night Under Fire, and man, I know he's got to be chomping at the bit to get to Brainerd and show the improvements that they made at the Night Under Fire. I really think this is going to be really cool and a really good deal for them. And let's not forget, my man is debuting a new sponsor. Not new, but it is full on the car all the way through. It's all the way live. It's going to be great. And the beer is really good too, which you should go out and make sure you get some. We want to thank Drag Race Bracket Bonanza. We want to thank everybody else who supports us as well, but we want to thank our sponsor, Drag Race Bracket Bonanza. And after this commercial break, where you need to learn how to get involved with Drag Race Bracket Bonanza, if you have not been, we got Brainerd coming up. So come on, get involved, get in with the NotBland Show. The password is NotBland, all lowercase. And after this, we'll have Spencer Hyde.
Drag racing fans, check out Drag Race Bracket Bonanza. It's the free, family-friendly fantasy bracket game. Now, after final qualifying at every national event, you can fill out your bracket for all the pro classes.
It's free, easy to click on your picks. If you need some help, just hit the randomizer button to fill in the blanks. It's for fun, stay engaged, and pick your winners today.
Spencer, what's going on, brother?
Not too much, man. How are you?
Man, I'm doing great. I am excited, though, for you this weekend. First of all, Outlaw Light Beer on the car this weekend. This is fantastic, bro.
Yeah, man. Check that thing out. Don't it look good?
It looks good. It looks so good. And the beer is good, too, though.
It looks even better in person. I haven't seen it in person. I shouldn't say that, but I saw actual pictures of it as the boys were loading it up on the trailer yesterday, and it looks friggin' badass.
Man, it's going to be awesome. And the zoo, too. Yeah. Lord, this is going to be fantastic. Great for Outlaw Light Beer. Couldn't have a better representative in yourself. It's great to see them come on and be a full-time, be this big primary sponsor for you guys. And hopefully this can translate into a few more primaries for you.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to be them to be full-time, but they are the primary this weekend in Brainerd. Super excited. Huge thanks to Mark Stockseth and his team at Outlaw. He's a large investor in Outlaw, and he hooked me up with Jake Stokely and the boys over there at Outlaw Light, and we're getting some things done. We got some really cool games to do in the zoo this weekend with the fans. I can't wait, man. It's going to be so cool. I can't wait to see the car. Like I said, I saw pictures of it, and it looks so cool.
That is awesome, man. I love the interaction with the fans and having that the games and stuff set up. That's really forward thinking And that's how you get people to buy your beer. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean?
That's what it's all about. We're here to push some good beer on some good people that like drag racing, and hopefully it translates well. And I think it's gonna. I mean, I'm excited to go out in the zoo Friday night and hang out with the fans, and just we had a blast last year out there, and Outlaws really stepped up their game this year, and I think it's going to be really, really cool.
Yeah, I'm going to have to also from afar contribute and make sure I hit the liquor store when I come home on Friday and get me some Outlaw beer and sit back and watch everything on NHRA TV. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not lying to you. A beer guy actually put me onto it. I went and found it, got it. It was like I think it's like a 24 pack. And I was like, I don't know if I should buy a 24 pack, but I'm like, what the hell? Excellent stuff. So make sure you guys go out and get it. You can look it up on their website and they'll show you the stores they actually have it in, right?
Yeah. They've got an Outlaw beer finder on their website. So you log on, put in your zip code, and it'll tell you every store that carries it close to you. And Lyle and I did that in Phoenix, and we had beer in our hand in 10 minutes.
And that is fantastic. So make sure you guys do that. Look, at the Night Under Fire, those runs you guys were able to put together showed that you found something. And I think it's something that you guys had earlier in the season as well. Tell us a little bit about what you guys may have found to bring and knock some people over the head with this weekend.
I won't lie to you. We made a pretty big wholesale change in the bell housing department, and we made some good runs. They weren't great runs, but they were good runs. They went A to B, which is key. I think it was a great baseline to build off of. I mean, if you line us up beside Caps and Guido and those guys, they were clicking off 80s like it was nothing.
Yeah.
We were probably 2 to 3 runs behind, I would say, like just with the change, but everything we saw was positive, especially down track. So we just got to get the car to move early like it used to. And if we can marry, the early numbers that we used to run to the late numbers we saw at Night Under Fire, we're going to have a really good race car.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about this on the Power Hour too, and just looking at the cars that are coming, and a lot was said about other cars, but I really think you guys have a good shot to surprise some people this weekend. And it's really not too much of a surprise, because if you go back to the early season, you guys are putting together some really good numbers and giving people headaches, and the car is very much capable of winning races. And now that you kind of hopefully have married both things together now, I really think this is a really good opportunity for you guys to find yourself in a final round looking to get one of those Diamond Wallies.
And that's what we're hoping for. It's listen, our crew guys are pretty much perfect. They do everything just right. Jim and I just got to get our stuff together, and I got to leave on time, and he's got to do his job and getting the thing down the racetrack. And if we can do that, I'll tell you what, we will be dangerous, and we will be a threat in the countdown.
Yeah. And how hard is it? I know that I've heard you say that Jim does not like to get outrun. No. But do you think he might just reel it just a little bit to get off the crazy line where it's really close to going over the edge and just get you down? Sometimes it's a little hard for him to reel it back just a little bit.
It is for sure. I mean, Jim definitely chases the ET slip. That's what he goes drag racing for. He's looking at the numbers on the ET slip, and that's really all he cares about. He likes winning, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But he would rather outrun the guy and me lose on a hole shot than me have a good light and him get outrun. And I think that's a little bit of I don't want to say an ego thing, because he's not really an egotistic guy, but he chases the numbers, and that's what he goes there to. That's the challenge for him, is to get the lowest number on the ET slip. And if you ask him, he won't be happy until the car runs 0. and I get it. I really do. I get it from a crew chief perspective. I get it from a car owner perspective. But at the end of the day, he doesn't like losing first round either. He doesn't like getting beat. So he has reeled it in a bit, and more often than not, recently he's asked me, especially in qualifying, hey, you want to go to the number one spot, or are you good with fifth? And more often than not, I'll say I'm good with fifth. But there has been times where I'm like, man, let's go for it. Track conditions are there.
Yeah.
I know he knows how to make the thing go fast. Like, he's proven it. He's gone bottom 80s multiple times. The race car is there. We just got to get it all together. And the problem is, like, the funny car is so competitive right now. Like, it's probably as competitive as it's ever been. And you just got to race the guy next to you, which I know is kind of against what some guys say, like, you know, you got to go up and race your own race and run your lane and not care who's beside you. But at the end of the day, sometimes you got to look who's beside you and take some stats into play and go up there. I know that guys go up beside us and say, oh, they're going to smoke the tires, 4 times out of 10 or whatever. But at the end of the day, they can't take us light because they know that 3 times out of 10, we're going to go low ET.
Right.
And Jim's proven that. We've been number one a couple times in the last year and gone to 3 final rounds. So everybody knows we can run, and we just got to put it all together, man. It's easier said than done. That's why there's not 50 cars out here doing it. There's 16 to 20. So our day is coming, and I hope it's Brainerd.
Yeah, that would be a great kickoff to get him going into Indy, and a kickoff of getting that momentum rolling into the countdown. You race for one of the legends of this sport, and you have being able to race for a legend. There's things that you get to glean and learn and be a part of that others don't. What are some of the things in your funny car career that you've been able to learn that has helped you? Because I think you have adapted quickly. You've driven many things, but you adapted really quickly into being a pretty smooth driver, and that's not easy to do when you're talking about floppers.
I just kind of got to go back to the basics. Like, I grew up bracket racing and racing junior dragster and top dragster, top sportsman, and you just got to take all the fundamentals that you learned in that and apply them in the funny car. I mean, I still stage the same way in the funny car as I did in my top sportsman car. I try and flicker the bulb every time. It's not easy to do in a funny car, but that's what I try and do. And it pains me because if you look at the stats sheet, I'm, 8th or 10th on average reaction time, but I know I stage as shallow as anybody out there. And Jim knows that, and Jim is thankful for that. And that's where you gain that little bit of ET, especially in qualifying.
Yeah.
And Jim wants me to do that, but on race day, he says, just drive it how you want to drive it. He doesn't care how I stage on race day, but I do the same thing every time. I try and be as consistent as possible every time I go down the racetrack. And I see lots of guys out there that don't do that, and the good guys do. Listen, there's guys out there that are very consistent, and you watch Austin Prock. Austin Prock does the same thing almost every single time.
Yeah.
He's really good at I know he's in there and he's got the same amount of pumps on the brake to get in the stage beam, and he's just got almost zero thought process. Like, it's just natural to him, and it shows. He's really good on the light and everything else. Jordan Vandergrift's doing a really good job, and then you got some of the veterans like Caps and Hagen and Beckman. These guys they're so good at it, and I just strive to be like those guys and go up there and do the best I can. But as for a learning aspect, I mean, I've learned a ton of stuff being around Jim Head and Dave Leahy. They're 2 of the smartest guys in drag racing, and I get to sit in the lounge after every single run listening to them digest the data, and I just try and sit there and soak up everything, be a sponge, and I've learned a ton, and very thankful for that. And It's great. It's really been an awesome experience, and I'm excited to keep going with it.
Yeah, it has to be pretty darn cool, and sometimes pinch yourself moments with some of the things you get to experience in your career. And you're right. I mean, you go back 20 years, and I don't think you don't have 16 cars showing up to a funny car race, and all 16 cars are cars you need to worry about. There were maybe like 6 to 8 cars
Right.
20 years ago. And I mean, almost every round, I mean, when Blake Alexander shows up, you look at Paul Lee, Cruz Pedregon, even Dave Richards now, they're becoming more consistent and finding a way. And then you got the guys who show up at certain races like Del Worsham and Jason Rupert's of the world and Hunter Green. Like, every time you line up, there's no Huckleberry. Like, you can think that if you want to. That might put you on the trailer early, but there really are no Huckleberries from 1 through 16 on race day.
No, there's not. It's everybody's got a good race car. Almost everybody's got a good driver in there, and they can leave on time. And like you said, there's 16 cars there that can upset anybody at any point. And listen, we were blaming, not qualifying well, and we qualify in the bottom half and get Caps or JR or Hagen or somebody and go out, and then we'd qualify fourth and we'd still get JR. And you know what I mean? Like, qualifying is just so crazy these days that, like, if you get behind early, it's not hard to qualify 12th, 13th, 14th, and you qualify 4th, 5th, 6th, and one of these other guys had a bad qualifying outage, and you got 3-time world champion Ron Capps round 1 at out of the 5th spot. You're like, what the hell did I do wrong?
Exactly.
You didn't do anything wrong, but that's just the way the cards fall, and you got to be prepared for that in funny car right now, because it's just that tight, and you can run 398, which is a heck of a good lap, and be 14th.
Yeah.
And number one's 88. Like, it's a 10th. It's not
crazy.
a big spread. It's starting to look more like a pro stock field than a field funny car field, and that's just the way it is, which is great. That's what everybody wants to see. Everybody wants to see that tight drag racing, tight qualifying ladders, and let the best man win on Sunday, or woman. And I think that's the goal. And I'd say right now, funny cars hit the goal.
You've been involved with a lot of different racing in your career. Unfortunate what happened with the IHRA, but I'll ask you, because I think you have a big picture look. When looking at what IHRA was able to do, first of all, do you feel that there would be more appreciation for other promotions than we had before this IHRA deal? And two, what, if anything, I'm sure there's some things we can learn, but what do you think we can learn for the drag racing community that we can apply from IHRA to move forward and expand and better the sport?
I don't know. That's a tough one. I think the biggest lesson is, if something seems too good to be true, it probably is. Pretty simple thing to live by there. I mean, it was hard not to pay attention to the IHRA because they made such a big splash, but I tried to tune it out. I never really gave it a realistic thought of going over there. I mean, I don't want to talk down on it, but anybody that had any sort of mathematical brain in their head knew that wasn't going to work ever.
Yeah.
Just wasn't. And listen, I think it's great that Daryl wanted to help the sport, and he spent a bunch of money and blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, it was an unrealistic goal that was never going to get achieved. And people can, call me a hater or whatnot. I'm not a hater. I would have loved to see it work out, but it wasn't gonna ever.
Yeah.
I think that everybody knows NHRA is the most prestigious place to race. We don't do this for money. We do this for the love of the sport, and we do this to win Wallies. And I think that it's too small of a community to think that it's anything other than that. I don't want to dwell on that whole situation. I think it's something that, it's in the past. It's never coming back. Just push forward. Let's hope that we get some strong support in the NHRA side of things and keep moving drag racing in the right direction like I think it's going.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to learn. I think there's some things we can take from what they were able to do. But I agree with you. There are things that you can learn what not to do. But I do believe that there will be more of appreciation for your PDRAs and other promotions than there were before. And I think that's great for those promotions, but I also think it's great for the sport of drag racing. I don't want to look at the whole situation as a doom and gloom and, oh my God, we're in a bad place right now. I don't think so. I think this has opened up some eyes, and I think that it maybe the appreciation that we have for the other promotions weren't necessarily at the level that it should be. And now we understand, we were in a pretty good place. We had places to race. Yeah. We may not have necessarily been doing our part in showing up and showing the appreciation that we should for the areas we have to race. And I think that's what will help.
I totally agree, especially on the pro mod side of things. Like, you've got so many good places to race, like the PDRA and the Midwest Drag Racing and the World Series of Pro Mod. I mean, these guys are working so hard to give the best spot they can for racers on a realistic budget.
Yeah.
And they work very hard at it, and it's a thankless job. I've been I have helped run a series up here in Canada. It is the most thankless job that you could possibly think of. The tracks are difficult to deal with. The racers are difficult to deal with. Everybody is out telling you everything you've done wrong. You've got a million problem identifiers and no problem solvers.
Yes.
It's tough, and I don't envy these people at all. It's a tough job, and people have no idea what the people like the Tommy Franklins of the world and the Keith Haneys and the Wes Bucks and these guys deal with day to day. It's such bullshit, and they still pour their hearts and souls into giving a good platform for people to race. It's I encourage people to get involved with a series and see what these guys deal with.
Yes.
And then give their opinion.
Yes. I'm a media guy for Southeast Gassers, and we get to see a lot of the inner workings of what's going on within the series. And dude, man, racers are the worst. They're the worst. They're their own worst enemy.
Yeah, listen, it's frustrating. And I love racers. I mean, I am a racer. I get it, but I've seen it from the other side, and it is such a difficult position to be in.
It is.
And you just gotta have a good head on your shoulders and try and find the positives in everything. And believe me, it gets frustrating. I've been there.
Yeah.
So I tip my hat to all those guys that run series and put up with this stuff on the daily. It is not an easy job. And I'm very thankful for strong organizations such as the PDRA and Midwest and all these guys that just do a fabulous job.
Yeah, I appreciate your honesty, man, and being real with it. We're going to get you out of here on a fun note, though. Question from Blake. Man, how excited are you to become a dad?
Very excited. I just spent 10 days with my nephew. My sister's got a almost 6-month-old, and I just we had a little holiday up in Muskoka Lakes with her and her family and my little nephew Casey, and we had a blast. And I'm just I'm over the moon to have my own daughter and do it with Courtney and I just hope everything. I hope my kid's as good as hers. I mean, damn, he's great. He sleeps and doesn't cry, and he's just fantastic. So I can only hope that ours is that good. But hey, as long as everybody's happy and healthy, I'm very excited, ready to start the next chapter, and introduced her to drag racing at a young age.
Well, your daughter has two great parents that are really cool and strong-willed. Just some of the best on the planet here. It won't be any issues, man. You're gonna be a great girl dad. And again, congratulations. And also, man, thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show. I know you got a meeting to get to, but I appreciate you taking the time to come on the show and go out there and stick some foots and some behinds out there at Brainerd, will you?
That's the plan, man. Thanks, Dujanay. Always a pleasure, and we'll see you again soon.
See you soon, buddy.
Take care.
Spencer Hyde, everybody. I'm really looking forward to seeing them step up. They've just been right there all year long. And what a better time to turn this thing into something right here. 2 races left in the regular season and going into the countdown. Hey, man, look out for that head car. But at the end of the day, you guys need to go on and get yourself some Outlaw Light beer. Shout out to them for getting on the car and being the primary here, especially at the zoo. Before we go to break, you see the ticker across the bottom there? That's right. That's your discount code for the really cool Lex June Renegades. As relevant is the sponsor for Indy, and they have a great set of sunglasses with the Lex June signature on the one of the lenses there. Gonna be good stuff, man. This is stuff that, I mean, when I look at these glasses and what they are capable of doing, they're better than any Oakley that you're gonna ever buy, hands down. I'll put that up against all you want to throw out your fishing, sunglasses. You can throw them out there too. Head above heels, I believe, when you look at the product, investigate it, and really look into it, probably the best product on the planet. And definitely going to promote it because their sponsor, my guy Lex June, allowing them to get out there to Indy and put rubber to the track and qualify and make some noise in the U.S. Nationals. So make sure you guys do that. The code at the bottom will get you 20% off. And again, like I've said before, we're going to run this through Indy in support of the sponsor and trying to bring awareness so that they can continue to help and sponsor Lex June and keep them out there. Because at the end of the day, that's their ultimate goal. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's great to talk with Spencer Hyde, and we'll get into some drag racing and whatever else you guys want to talk about as we go into this break. And when we come out of the break, hey man, it's all you. Let's chat it up and talk about sports. Let's do it. Talking Funny Cars with Buddy Hall. I believe it's supposed to be back in Indy. I will confirm that here soon. I should have done that before, but life gets in the way sometimes. So I will confirm that. But you can find all of the previous ones. If you have not seen any of them, they're on the YouTube channel, or you can wait and catch it when it comes on the NHRA's Fast channel. Yeah, I agree with you, Drag Race Mayhem. I'm with you. I don't think it's as bad. I'll say this. I don't think it's as bad of a look to sponsors as it appears. There has to be a level of common sense involved when looking at this situation. If you peer into the situation and really look at it for what it is, a lot of evidence is out there. I think any sponsor will understand that that's not drag racing as a whole. And I know Wes has said this about it, about Googling it and seeing this disaster. I just, people have more common sense than I think we give credit for. People are not dumb. They know how to read and understand a situation, and they don't necessarily true people who have a clear understanding and really have a non-biased look at a situation understands what took place and not labeling everyone or all of drag racing as that. So I understand it's not great for the Google, but at the end of the day, I think people have a level of common sense and understanding. There's more smart people sometimes than we think, and because we don't see it all the time in this world. That this should have been known last year when he tried to buy tracks in principle and was obviously from the begin. It was obvious from the beginning. And look, yeah, I mean, I don't blame the racers for going to get the money, because at the end of the day, bro, at the end of the day, that's what moves the world, right? Now you make that decision, and you gotta live with the consequences, right? And maybe some knew the consequences and just was like, you know what, I'm gonna get it while the getting is good. Cool. I don't have a problem with that. Not at all. But yes, there were certain things that I expected that would happen that we are normal or used to, and that's series sponsorships and all of these other things that we normally see with any series. And when those things started to not happen, you're hoping that with this year, at the end of this year, that or close through half the season, they would have begun to get series sponsorships, but that seemed to never to materialize. And then that does become a problem, because how long can you run that out of your pocket, and especially when you're putting on a Triple Crown and you're putting $1 million up? You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of money. And, I don't second guess his intentions. But there's sometimes that when people who are, high executives like that, they don't listen to the people that are around them and take their advice on certain things. And I think that's where a lot of things went wrong. Hey, Spencer's a good pick this weekend, especially if you were able to see some of the Night Under Fire. You were there, actually, so you did see it. He's a good pick. So I'm with you, Mac 1320, on that one. Could continue from the Power Hour. What big name falters at Indy and does not race on race day in any pro classes? This is a good one. Let's be honest. It could be Austin Prock. That's not far-fetched. If we look at what the eye test has told us, it's a high possibility. You know who else is a possibility? Cruz Pedregon. That's another name that possibly could be on the outside looking in by the end of Q5. If you want to go top fuel, man, a Tony, a Sean, a Will, maybe Justin Ashley is part of that. I mean, they haven't looked that great. We'll see what happens this weekend. Like I said on the Power Hour, we'll see what happens at Brainerd and what transpires with the Parts Plus team and the Rick Ware race team. But Clay could be a part of that if we're basing it off what we've seen before, and we're not into Brainerd yet. That he could be a part of that as well. He said Joe WFO has said that it's affected teams and racers. Oh, I'm sure it has, because people haven't got paid. And there's a lot of people that went all in. They pushed all the chips to the table, in front of the table, and they went all in. So yeah, I'm sure there are people that have not been paid, and are without money. There are people without jobs. There's a lot. And that's tough. That is tough. But let's not act like us in drag racing are some special people. But this crap happens every day. There's people getting laid off by Fortune 500 companies every day. There's people that are struggling that go to work and work a 9 to 5 every day or are struggling each and every day. Crap's high. Fuel's high. Food is high. Healthcare is high. It just so happens that this affected the racing community, and in some cases in a big way. Nitro Performance Guy, what's going on, man? What's going on, brother? Nice to see you in the comments. Nice to see you here. He says, I think IHRA helped the smaller NHRA Nitro teams who don't have huge budgets, though the plans were ambitious, but look at Jasmine. I agree that you can't deny that. I'll even say, look at Lex. Now they've got a new car. They've been working out some of the new bugs. I think they'll be great here coming up for Indy. I really think they started to find their legs. I think Maryland was a good barometer for what we saw in the moving forward for them. So I think we'll see some great stuff there in Indy. But yes, it did. It helped. It helped her a lot. Me personally, it's cool to see her get some of the love that she was not getting from NHRA. But at the same time, I'm like, keep that same damn energy. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe that's just rude, but like, it was kind of crappy how they treated her before. And, now we're on the bandwagon. Well, I'm glad you're on the bandwagon, I guess. I guess I should say that. Make it positive, right? Dragons Mayo says, well, all this worth losing 10 tracks and making our sport look pathetic to outside world. I don't think it looks pathetic. I think it's unfortunate for those tracks, absolutely. But I do not think the sport looks pathetic. I think the people involved, who were involved with this resurrection, those are the people who look pathetic. You can't blame racers for going and getting money. You can't. You just can't. We see it all the time. I mean, look at stick and ball sports and how many people go to teams for money. They're not there to win championships. I'll take you back to the Daniel Snyder Washington Redskins football team Commanders. There's a ton of people that came to this organization for money. What about winning championships? Now, I'm sure people don't like losing money, but again, that money helps some people's programs. And I was told by some that went over there, they were going to ride it until the wheels fell off. And eventually the wheels fell off, unfortunately, for this sport. Because I still believe that there needs to be a second place where nitro cars can race. It only betters the sport. So, as much as people, it's something that would be nice. She said, I put out a 45-minute vlog of the night under fire. It was so freaking cool being on the wall for jets, and it was absolutely bananas. I bet it was, especially for jet cars. Jesus. It's bad enough for nitro cars when they go by. My photographer, Fred Warner, he's like, when the nitro cars go by, it feels like they're pushing you away from the wall. So I can only imagine what a jet car feels like going by. I did not catch that, but I will. Your boy's been busy. Busy. Not able to watch too much. It's becoming football season is what it is. And I'm watching a lot of film on different teams and players that I'm looking at. So yeah, sometimes things get a little bit convoluted, for me. Because I think that depends on who you consider a big name. True. That is true. In my opinion, the top 8 in points are safe to get in. Everyone below is at risk. I agree with you on that. Because, I mean, when you look at top fuel, Justin Ashley hasn't had the greatest of season, and neither is Clay. And everybody else below that, Sean, Tony, Can't really include Jasmine in that because she hadn't been around enough. But 2 races to go? Nah, I don't think so. I think it's a long shot. But I was looking at the points there, and yeah, she just doesn't have enough points. If she was like in the 300 range, or at least the 400 flat, she might have a shot to crack the top 10. But it will require going more rounds than Clay. And lately, that wouldn't be a hard thing to do. Please, no rear end breakages for the rest of the season. We all are hoping that. That is a nasty breakage. And I think we saw, where was that at? Was it Seattle? I have to look back. I forget what track it was, but the last time that rear end blew up at night on one of the, the famous hero sessions that we like to have, and we had to shut it down for the rest of the night. Brian Lowe's talked about a new solution that they were putting on the track, and it doesn't look like it really helped speed up anything. Like, it didn't help at all. It's still a mess. That gear oil is something else, man. It really is. He says, racers I don't blame, not at all. It's more so the series itself and the still somehow breaks they catch, and the constant praise when it hurt the sport. The sport is worse off since IHRA has come and gone. Depends on how you look at it. In some aspects, sure. In some aspects, no. Like I said, I'm not as doom and gloom as most. Because I think the smart people, there are lessons to learn. And there are lessons that have been learned. And I think there's lessons that have been learned by all promoters, track owners, and racers. Like I spoke about earlier with Spencer, I think there was a lack of appreciation of other promotions. You don't have this big move and flock to a resurging, hopefully, what people hoped to be around for a while, the IHRA and its money, if you don't. But I think because of all of this, I think there will be a new appreciation for those promotions. You will see more people turn out, which in turn, because you'll have more turnout, there will be bigger payouts, hopefully. At the very least, there will be more races for people to put on because of the participation. And I think what it has shown is there is a need, right? The IHRA showed that there is a need for more. Now, it doesn't have to be the IHRA, but who steps up to fill some of these needs for different categories and classes? That's the question. There's a lot of smart people out there. Baders of the world, a lot of smart people, a lot of smart promoters. And what I think should be focused on is, A, what can we learn? And B, with what we've learned, how can we take this and fill the need that we all saw is there? That's the key. All this pandering and crying and bitching about what was, it is what it is. We all hope for the best and we got the worst. And let's be honest, at least a few of these tracks weren't even alive anyway. They were deader than a cemetery. They weren't running. They were grown over and grassed over and dilapidated, and folks were going in and vandalizing places. It is what it is. The only thing I feel bad for and that I do not like is that Reading, the first track I ever went to, is involved in all of this, and it's a big ass question mark. That's my only problem. Because there's a lot of history there. Lots. But I do think that it will be okay. It's one of the NHRA's, storied tracks with a lot of history. And I think there'll be somehow some way to work it out. And at the end of the day, you can't fault some of these folks who took the money and ran. And it's not no secret with the Koretsky's and the fact that they needed the cash. And they had to do something. So I don't look at it that way. Because I think no matter what, I always say I never take any losses. Because the losses you do take, they're learning experiences. Because you don't learn from these experiences, then you will always be destined to repeat the stupidity. So we can talk about all the negative, but at the end of the day, we should be learning. And as we learn, we should be having solutions to move forward. Because talking about what was, it's just like taking a sheet of paper and lighting it. It's up in smoke in a blink of an eye. Crap's gone. It's ashes now. It's over. The wind's blowed it off into the sea. More learning, less bitching. More nitro runs equal better operations. That was another opportunity for cars to run. Absolutely. That, out of all of it, is really where what's lost. You know what I mean? It was opportunities for the smaller teams to be able to get those much needed laps in to learn so that they could come out. When they come out to an NHRA event, they can hit the ground running because they have those laps under their belt. And I still believe that some of the teams that were able to experience that will be better off. But some people, we can look at some folks like Trip Tatum. The guys, that team, every time they come out, they are another team like TJ Zizzo. When they come out to play, don't expect any, tiptoeing. They coming out to put a foot on your neck ASAP. And they do a really good job of it. He said that's exactly how it feels by the wall when nitro cars run. Yeah, it's crazy, man. I have never had the experience that. My photographer has the best seat in the house every year. But I love it for him. At least we don't have participation spots. I know, right? I really think we're missing out on a lot when it comes to this. And I hope that they right this ship come 2027 because I really don't. Yes, thank you. The Sonoma race. I really don't think that sponsors don't care about that. I understand the thought process on that, but I mean, any real sponsor doesn't care about a participation trophy. Like I said, when you got 11 through how many ever, let's say you got 11 through 16 in the points that are going to get a participation spot, when you can't take all their numbers and equal a winning record, that's a problem. That's a problem. So, it is what it is. I'm hoping it changes, though. Yeah, Topeka, Atlanta, and Memphis. Yeah. I was hoping. I really, Topeka is it's a hell of a facility. It's one of the old school facilities with those big old towers. It's unfortunate that it's not, that it's not with anyone. No series is racing at it. So yeah, it's unfortunate. I also feel bad about Rockingham, the oval track, because that is not on the schedule for next year. And a place like Rockingham relies on that. Now, don't get me wrong, the drag strip does an excellent job, and Richmond County and their officials do an excellent job of promoting the racing, but I do feel bad for Rockingham. I got a chance to see it for the first time. The Rock is cool, man. That's a really cool track, and it should be a track that NASCAR should be racing at all the time. I know that logistics and money-wise may not be wise for NASCAR to buy the track, but I think that should be probably one of the staple tracks that they have within their umbrella. At least Mile is still hosting bracket racing. Yes, and that is a good thing, and hopefully that continues. So in Memphis, two things that probably won't see life again. Elvis and Memphis Motorsports Park. Yeah, unfortunately. I agree with you. I really was looking forward to seeing it come back to life, just because in my lifetime I actually saw it when it was alive. I was able to watch racing when it was alive, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate for Atlanta as well. Really was excited about it coming back as well, being another track here in Georgia. Unfortunate. Really is. That is the downside. Do I think we could see 346 miles per hour this weekend? I'm going to say no, Blake. I'm going to stick to my guns, what I said over there on the Power Hour. I'm going to stick to my guns, and I'm going to say no. And if it organically happens, we're going to have a good time. We're going to enjoy it. But that way, if it doesn't happen, I wasn't part of the hype train. You get it? Because we've done this. We've done this before, right? We've done this a lot. And it doesn't live up. It doesn't live up at all. So I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm going to tell you no. And hope for the best. On the participation trophy rule, I've went through and done the math. Car counts are down this year compared to 2019 by almost one. If the goal was to increase cars, it's done nothing. And that is just the truth of the matter, if that is the case. If you're looking, again, I don't understand the logic, because, again, aren't we in the business of wins and losses? That's what sport is built on. Drag racing is about getting to the finish line first, and we're contending for Wallies and championships. Nobody cares if you're included in the countdown and you have a losing round win-loss record. No one cares if you're in the countdown if your round win-loss record doesn't even equate to 5 round wins. No one cares. It's the same thing when we talk about NFL, NBA, MLB teams who have losing records. You know what we're talking about with them? The draft. No one cares. No one cares. We're talking draft, who's getting fired. That's it. But yet, we got race teams that we just give pats on the back to, and we're supposed to be excited about these folks that are included in a championship, and they don't have a even 500 record. Yeah, it just goes against all the fiber in my being when it comes down to that. So I don't understand it. So if the conditions are right Friday, don't say it. Could be mile per hour record time. Don't say it. I'm gonna let you say it. I'm gonna say yes, Mac 1320. You're welcome, Blake. No problem, bro. No problem. Oh man, we're looking forward to Brainerd this weekend. Looking forward to another weekend of NFL preseason. I'm really excited for the season. I think it's going to be very, very interesting across the board. I think you see a level of parity once again within the league. And I know we talk about this every year, but I think the league more and more, you're starting to see what you're seeing with nitro drag racing. There aren't any teams that you can show up on Sunday and think that we're just going to roll the helmets out on Sunday and we're going to get a win because we're the Los Angeles Rams or we're the Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks or we're the Buffalo Bills or because we won the division and we're the Eagles. Like, there is no more of that anymore in the last few years. Any team is capable of jumping up and biting you. And that includes the New Orleans Saints, who are in a rebuild. I think a lot of divisions are wide open this year. I don't think it's clear of a cut winner as we sometimes get conditioned to think. The media system is about hype train and building suspense, right? Of course, Dallas is always in the talked about mix of having a big percentage of making the playoffs and big percentage of winning Super Bowls, and most of the time, none of that stuff comes to fruition. So it's a lot of talk, and that's what we're experiencing right now. It's preseason. We're trying to see who's going to make the squad, teams who are going to make the squad, what players that are going to be unsung heroes, that are undrafted, that are going to make the squad, stuff like that. And a lot of analysis is based off of last year. And there's not a lot of forward thinking of what we're looking at this year. Again, everybody's 0-0, right? Everybody has a winning record until they don't. And, I'm a little bit more realistic in that. When it comes down to evaluating teams, even though we look at the draft, we look at this, but, again, it is a hype train right now until we crack the season. And I believe we are about 2 weeks away from college football as well. I believe college football starts this weekend with some of your smaller schools, if I'm not mistaken. And then next weekend, we have the full schedule of teams that'll come out. They're really not worth watching because they're all playing huckleberries, the D2 schools that they're going to wax the floor with, likely have 50 points, 50 to maybe 10. But everybody will be happy about football being back on every level, whether it's NFL or college. Really big college people around here in the South, but I don't know how big people are with college now with it having the NIL, but people love their college football. But the argument is out the window now of of guys, because they play for the love of the game. They never played for the love of the game, by the way, because they were getting paid under the table regardless. The stars were, and the NCAA was making big time money off the backs of these players, and making hand over fist while these guys got paid nothing. I'm all about the student athlete, but I'm also not about an organization capitalizing majorly off of student athletes either. And they're looking to find meals on the dollar menu at McDonald's, while you're making big time bucks off their backs and names. That ain't right. I do think that there's tweaking that needs to be done with the NIL, though. Let's look at your final comments here. She's like, I'll risk being wrong. It wouldn't be the first time. Yep. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah. I don't mind risk being wrong, but I'm not going to say it. Indy's really not a track record track, to which makes Brittany's run there last year crazy. That is true. We really don't think of it that way, with all the prestige that track holds, why it is that way. But we really don't think about that when it comes down to numbers. And, we would think that track would have, more record setting capability. But it really is. That run by Brittany was special because it does not produce that like other tracks that we know are very well capable of doing so. Absolutely. All the time. But boo, NHR participation rule, yeah. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Man, I appreciate it. And one day soon, bro. It's coming. Yeah. She always does a really good job. Like, it's unique. It's not like everybody else. I believe so too. Unfortunately, there's a lot of turnover though, man. A lot of turnover. Yeah, right. So you're too young to know Indy as a record-setting track. It used to be the big one. Back in the day, sure. Yeah. I you're right about that. I really didn't think about that. But back in the day, early days, of probably the 80s, 90s, yeah, just not so much lately. Well, I say probably in the last 20 years. Probably the last 20 years. I could be wrong though. You're the stat guy. I'm just a guy. Are you ready for some fantasy football? I witnessed a loser of league thing in Nashville. One mild beer run and the bomb chicken wings. Bad idea. I am actually, which I've got to figure out whether we're going to do this league this year or not. We're running up on it quick. I've got a draft. It's not this weekend. It's next weekend for the Dynasty. But I've kind of got to get with the family and see what the temperature is on what everybody wants to do. So I will have to get on that because time's running out. And we probably need to have that draft probably no later than the 5th. Because I think it's the following week is the start of the season. So I'll keep you informed, family. I'll keep you informed. Hey, man, I call it like I see it. No lies detected. I call it like I see it. And you do a hell of a job, and it's very unique. It's that always worth a watch. It says, not since Dallas, Joliet, Redding, Topeka took over. Yeah. When's the last run set at Indy besides Brittany's last year? I'm going to stay on until we get this one. So he's asking in top fuel or overall there, Drag Race Mayhem. It is, man. There are a few races I think that that folks would love to win, but none other than the U.S. Nationals. I even think at times it's bigger. It has the ability to be bigger than some other indies and other racing, sanction bodies, NASCAR, IndyCar, stuff like that. I know Drag Race Mayhem is probably like kicking and screaming right now that I said that. Like, no, you idiot. But it does. There are moments that I remember coming up with Indy that are just absolutely, they're huge. They're huge. But I also say, there are a couple other tracks. I think you look at a Bristol, Gainesville is always one. The Gator National is always one that people want to win. I think you can't shortchange, even though it's not. We'll see what happens in 2027 with the Winter Nationals being actually in the winter, because I think it lost a little bit of its Winter Nationals mystique being moved around. But we'll see. But even the Winter Nationals was a part of that as well. He said overall. So he said Megan Meyer ran a 5:09 in 2020. First top alcohol dragster in the O's. So that was 10 years ago. No, it was 6 years ago. Pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. I should have specified the pros, but that works too. That was a late run as well. It was, yeah. I'm very interested to see what we see here and what we have an opportunity to look forward to here in the next 2 weeks. Last two races of the regular season should be fun. Again, ladies and gentlemen, I thank all of you for your participation. Dave W, Mac 1320, Memphis Lonnie, Drag Race Mayhem. We've got we've got some cool people who are always here, and I really appreciate you guys. Nitro Performance guy, Blake in the comments always. Appreciate your participation tonight. Hopefully you guys love the show. I know Spencer's been everywhere. Hopefully I did it a little bit different. That made it enjoyable. Tell a friend to tell a friend always to subscribe to the show. Come on over to the family. We have a good time over here. Next week, I may try to do a show on Monday. Your boy has an important procedure that everyone in my age bracket or close to should be doing. And that is a colonoscopy. It's very important. No one wants to die of things that they could prevent. So next week I will be in prep on Tuesday. So I will not be on either show. I will be evacuating, unfortunately. And I'm not looking forward to it. But it is what it is. It's got to be done. So I may have a show on Monday for you guys. It may be a little bit earlier than 7 o'clock. But I'll keep you guys informed through the socials. How about that? All right? Again, thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. You guys have a great end of the week and a great weekend. Stay as cool as possible. It is ridiculous here in the South. We were under extreme heat warning for our second day and look to be under one for our third, fourth, and fifth day this week. So keep it cool. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you.
NBA dreams spin tight like a crossover sleeper. 4 inches in the cold, crowd breathing like smoke. NFL grit in my voice when the pressure gets woke. Engine scream through the night. That F1 razor lines cut clean, turn sharp like a hometown savior. NASCAR drift in my blood when the pace get wild. I talk speed like a veteran, move calm like a smile. Legends born out of sweat, out of heartbreaks echo. I break plays down smooth, call the game like a maestro. Every lane that we touch, every story we show. Show. This is where the truth runs. The NotBland Show. Fast lanes, fast breaks, whole crowd froze. Big drives, deep shots, watch a moment explode. Every angle hit heavy with the champions glow. Step into the kingdom, the NotBland Show. Fast lanes, fast breaks, whole crowd froze. Big drives, deep shots, watch the moment explode. Every angle hit heavy with the champions glow. Step into the kingdom, the NotBland Show.